Hello everybody. We are going to practice with the wall today. So instead of the chair, we're going to be using the wall as support. We're also going to be doing some things on the ground. And so I'll be using a blanket, a bolster, and blocks. Know that if you don't have that available, that's okay. You can always use a pile of blankets or beach towels or bath towels as bolsters, and you can make do without the blocks, especially since we have the wall. So we normally start by rooting through the sit bones. Today we're going to start by taking a mountain pose and rooting through the feet. And so I want you to first situate yourself near a wall, and then once you're ready, go ahead and take your feet about hip width distance. And if you want to get technical about it, that's about 2 fists width. And so you can also bend and check here. Anyway, so I'm going to scoot back a little to make sure you guys can see me. So feet hip width distance, and then we do want the toes to be more or less parallel. And so we're looking at the outer edges of the feet, and we want to make those more or less parallel to the outer edges of the mat. And then we're going to invite just a tiny little bend in the knees. So not enough to feel like a bend, but just to make sure we're not locking out through the joints. And we're going to start bringing awareness to the hip bones. We want to stack the hip bones over the ankles. And so we want to be balanced here, and maybe lift up all 10 toes just to make sure that lower body is balanced. And then you can spread the toes and bring them back down. Making our way up, hugging that belly button up and in. So imagine I took like a little hook and I grabbed that belly button and lifted it up. So it's moving in towards the spine and also up, just giving you a sense of lift through the upper body. We're going to relax the shoulders, palms face forward, just to encourage the opening of the shoulder joint, and then just softly relaxing them down your back. Soften the muscles in the face. Want to keep the chin about parallel here, so we're not tilting up or tucking down. And then if you feel comfortable closing the eyes here, begin to feel a sense of lift through the crown of the head. So imagine you were a Christmas ornament, and you had a string at the crown of the head, and it's just pulling you straight up, suspending you in air. Taking a few breaths here, inviting a sense of stillness to the body and to the mind here. Beginning to bring awareness to the breath. Focusing on the inhales and the exhales. Not needing to change anything, just simply noticing what it feels like to breathe. And then staying where you are with eyes closed, bring awareness to your feet. I want you to imagine you had roots growing from the soles of your feet down to the core of the earth. So in times of uncertainty, in times of high stress and anxiety, what we really need is a sense of grounding, centering, connection to the earth. And so imagining your feet as that foundation, providing stability, providing safety. The roots providing the nutrients you need to be nourished, to be well, to be healthy, to be vibrant. This can bring us a sense of calm and peace. So continue to imagine as you inhale that you're drawing in all the energy from the earth, filling you up with everything you need. And then feel all of the nervous, anxious energy, any troubling thoughts, any burdens. Simply leave the body out through the soles of the feet as you exhale. Good. Begin to flutter the eyes open, keeping a gaze that's soft. Begin to inhale the arms up. We're going to interlace fingers here, and then flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Big stretch, keeping the shoulders relaxed and away from ears. Another big breath in. On the exhale, begin to bend toward your right. Inhale back through center, bend towards your left. Inhale back through center, hands clasp behind the back, roll elbows and shoulders behind you. Little lift of the heart and the chin. Release the hands, begin to fold forward. So you're gonna bend the knees deeply, hinging at the hips here, allowing the belly to drop all the way towards the thighs, reaching for the mat or the floor, or maybe blocks. So blocks can be really useful here. And then see if you can soften, completely relax head and neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. So if you're using the blocks maybe on their tallest level, you can just come to a halfway lift here. If not, hands right below the knees on the shin bone, and then stretching crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way back up. Again, sweeping the arms up high. Exhale, tracing the midline of the body all the way back down, hands to the mat or blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way back up. Last time, big sweep up of the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Good. We're going to come all the way back up. And now we're going to use the wall. So I'm going to take the blocks away here. I'm going to find the wall. Rest your right hand on the wall here. And you're going to step, about arm length distance from the wall, right? So we don't want the arm to be super bent here. We're going to take a nice big side bend. So feet more or less together here, knees can be softly bent. We're going to sweep that left arm up and over. Imagine you could touch the wall. So whether the right arm is straight or not doesn't really matter. It's more about finding length through the left side. So make sure you're not rolling forward, you're staying lifted. Good. And then coming back to center. Try that on the other side. So I'm just going to flip it around here. And when you're ready, big stretch. Coming back to center. And now we're going to face the wall with both hands. So hands are going to be at they're about a little lower than shoulder level, and you can always adjust as we move through this. You're going to step back through the right foot, and if you're set up like I am, your foot might come off of the mat. That's okay, or you can take the time to flip the mat. So we're going to step that right foot back. Nice big step here. So we're in a high lunge, and we're going to hold here, really feeling that stretch down the back of the right leg here. Shoulders relaxed. 3 breaths. And then start sending those hips back, straightening through the left leg. And this, you might need to adjust here to really deepen the stretch. So maybe hands go even lower, bringing the chest closer to the floor, but keeping it parallel to the floor. We want to avoid a lot of rounding here. On the front foot, see if you can press down a little more through the big toe side. Keeping those hips nice and squared, feeling that deep stretch in the back of the left leg. Start bending back into that left knee, maybe bringing those hands up a little higher. We're going to inhale, engage the core, and lift that right knee up, keeping a 90-degree angle. On the exhale, step it back. And then inhale, pull up, and exhale, step back, and inhale, pull up, exhale, step back. Good. Now we're going to pull up the right knee and hold for back. Maybe play around with removing one hand from the wall, maybe both. Finding a point of focus that's not moving. Keeping the crown of the head lifting up, the left foot rooting down. Hugging belly button up and in, and release. Ha! Great job. So now we're going to try it on the other side. Again, hands to the wall. Step back with that left foot. Nice big step back. So you can really stretch through the back of the left leg as we press down through the heel. The heel does not have to touch down. Nice bend in the right knee. 3 breaths. Slowly begin to straighten through the right leg. Hips move back. Maybe that left heel can touch the floor. Lowering down through the heart. Keeping the hips nice and even. Pressing down through the big toe mound and little toe mound evenly here. Trying to go for that flat back. Good. Begin to bend back into that right knee. Readjust your hands. We're going to pick up the left knee. So when you're ready, inhale, lift. And exhale, press back. And inhale, lift. And exhale, press back. And inhale, lift. And exhale, press back. And we're going to lift that left knee and hold here for balance. Again, flexing through the left toe, so an active foot is going to actually help with your balance. Stacking shoulders over your hips. Maybe playing with one hand off the mat, off the wall, other hand off the wall. And release. Great. Hands back to the wall. We're going to step back into a wall downward facing dog. And this is going to be a little bit different because a down dog usually has a very closed angle between legs and upper body. Here we're going for about 90 degrees, okay? So hands to the wall again, you'll adjust as you walk back. See if you can find a flat back. And it's not going to be perfect. I'm not looking at myself, so I'm not sure what this is looking like, but we are more or less trying to go for length in the spine, sending the sit bones back. You can have a nice bend in the knees, maybe ears in between the biceps here, and take 3 breaths. Good. Slowly begin to walk your feet back up. Maybe not quite as close as they were before to the wall, because we're going to do some wall push-ups here. So the hands are going to be a little farther apart. Entire hand on the wall here. And again, you can adjust as you go. So if you want more intensity, you're going to step farther away from the wall. If you want less intensity, you'll be a little closer. I'm going to keep my feet hip width distance. And then keeping my entire body as one long line of energy. So we're not kind of moving this way. Imagine that you were like a plank of wood that's all moving at the same time. You'll simply lean forward and push back. And forward and back. Forward and back. 10 more. You got this. Here's 5 and 4. Keep the belly button hugged up and in. 3 and 2 and 1. Really nice. So now we're going to turn so that the left hand, no, the right hand is on the wall. And then you're going to flip your hand back so that your thumb is pointing up. So this soft part of the elbow is pointing up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to slowly take your entire chest and start rotating it away from the arms. So it can be a pretty intense stretch here. Try to keep this shoulder of the arm that's stretching relaxed, so we don't want this to happen. Good. And then other way, so I'm going to flip over. Again, hand to the wall, flipping so that the thumb points up. rotating your chest, your heart to the opposite side. Good. And then making your way back to facing the wall here. Wall is really good for balance, or if you feel pretty steady, you don't have to use the wall. We're gonna be doing some calf raises. So keeping a nice bend in the knees, and then lifting all the way up and down, and all the way up and down. Again, keeping the structure of the body the same. So hugging that belly button up and in, still standing up nice and tall. There's no big rounding in the spine. We're simply lifting the heels and bringing them down. So 5 more here. 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Last one here. Good. Hands to the wall. Once again, stepping that right foot back, all the way back, stretching out through the calf. Once again, straightening the left leg. So both legs get a nice stretch in pyramid pose. Flat back. Bend back through the left knee. This time, just pick up the right knee for balance. So coming up 90 degrees. And then we're gonna add a twist. So keep your left hand on the wall and start rotating that right elbow back behind you. So you're turning towards your lifted knee here. And maybe extending the right hand out. If you feel really balanced, you can also play around with taking the left hand off the wall, maybe bringing it to your knee. And making your way back. Good. Other side. So stepping the left foot back. Big stretch here behind the left leg. Big breath in and out. And then start straightening through that right leg. Pyramid pose. Hips are nice and even. Bending into the right knee, picking up the left knee here, establishing balance first, again lifting up through the crown of the head, flexing through the left toes, and then taking our twist here. So right hand to the wall, left hand comes back behind you, so twisting towards your bent left knee, and then maybe taking the right hand off the wall. Coming back through center, good, and then releasing that left foot. Okay, more balancing. So we're going to tree pose here. So using your right hand on the wall for balance, we're gonna start bringing all of the weight over to the right foot, and then taking that left foot up anywhere along the standing leg, as long as it's not smack on the knee. So it can be at the shin. It could even be on the ground, touching your mat for a little extra support. Or you can use your hand to bring it all the way up into the inner thigh. And once you align your body, finding the best way to stabilize and balance, we can start playing around with moving your hands off of the wall. And of course, here you're welcome to take your arms in any variation you'd like for tree pose. So they can stay at heart center. They can lift, you can grow your tree, you can take the arms behind you, whatever you would like. But keeping the focus, keeping the root growing down through that right foot, and keeping the breath moving nice and fluid. Good, and then release. And because I want to keep looking at you, I'm not going to turn around, but you're welcome to turn around so that your other hand is on the wall. I'm just going to use the same hand, opposite leg. So now bringing all of your weight over to your left side, lifting the right foot up anywhere along the standing leg, except the knee. So maybe the shin, maybe down by the ankle, or maybe using your hand to bring it all the way up. Hugging that belly button up and in, lifting up through the crown of the head at the same rate at which you are rooting down through the left foot. And then once you feel steady, playing around with bringing hands to heart. Soften through the face. floor. Stay near your wall. If you have a bolster, that would be great. So go ahead and grab that. If you have at least one blanket, that would also work, okay? We're gonna take it down and we're gonna go into a supported Sphinx pose, which I really enjoy. And so basically, we're just gonna have the bolster or your pile of blankets underneath your rib cage here. So your elbows are actually going to land in front of the bolster, and then you're gonna start stretching out and then lifting up so that the bolster is supporting the bottom part of your ribs, and you're allowing that small, gentle back bend to take place without having to do so much work with the arms. You do want to keep the shoulders away from the ears, tops of the feet pressing down. The neck nice and neutral, so we're not looking up, we're not looking down. How do we bring more ease into this pose? Two more breaths here, and of course you're welcome to do Sphinx pose without the bolster. Mine's actually a little high, that's why you don't see my elbows all the way down. Usually, traditionally, Sphinx pose, you would have your elbows down. Good, and we're gonna slowly come out of this. So I'm gonna start by bending the knees and coming into a tabletop, and then moving the bolster the opposite direction. So now it's long in front of you. Again, you can use a blanket. You can also not use props and still do get a nice child's pose in. So we're going to child's pose here, supported child's pose. I'm gonna open the knees, toe mounts together, bring the bolster close to you, and then slowly start releasing your belly and your thighs onto the bolster. Your head turned to one way, switch sides. Slowly start lifting yourself back up, and out of that, we're going to move the bolster off to the side. You can use your blanket for this next pose just to support the back of your head, or if the floor feels really uncomfortable, you can open it up just so you can lay your whole body on it. We're actually going to face the wall with our backs on the mat. And the first thing we're gonna do, we're not scooting all the way forward, we're gonna create 90-degree angles with our knees, with our feet on the wall. So this always takes a little bit of trial and error here. So take your time. All right. And now we're gonna thread the needle from here. So taking that right ankle, crossing it over the left knee. Couple things. You want to keep the right foot flexed. And if you'd like a little more intensity, you can use your right hand to very gently draw that right knee closer to the wall. Now, if you are not feeling enough intensity, or you don't want to work with your hands at all, you can always scoot yourself closer to the wall. So the closer you are to the wall, the closer your shin bone's going to be when you take thread thread the needle, and the more intense the hip stretch is going to be. So you adjust to what you need, and then begin to breathe easily in and out of that sensation. Softening through the face, surrendering the upper body, releasing any tension from the lower body. One more breath in and out here. And then we'll switch sides. So maybe use the hands to help you switch. Taking that left ankle, crossing it over the right knee. And again, playing around with what feels right for you. Maybe you're too close to the wall, maybe you're too far away. You can use that left hand to square your figure 4 here. That adds intensity. Or you can just choose to release into it. And then we'll start, again, bringing that left foot back to the wall. This time we are going for legs up the wall as our final pose of this brief practice. So you can kind of scoot yourself, wiggle, it's kind of a fun game, wiggle forward so that your glutes are a little closer to the wall. Or you can kind of start over, sit up and then get closer to the wall and then come back into it. You want your heels to be gently resting on the wall, soft bend in the knees. And if you've been practicing this a lot and want a slightly different variation, you can always take a wider legs up the wall here. Whatever you choose, take a few moments to settle in and then surrender fully and completely to stillness. There are no more postures to worry about. There are no more cues to follow. Simply closing the eyes, allowing the earth to support you fully and completely. And only allowing the mind to engage with the rise and fall of the belly and chest, with the feel of the inhale, the feel of the exhale. I invite you to stay here with legs up the wall for as long as feels nurturing. 5, 10 minutes, maybe. So pause and linger. And if you are ready to come out, or when you're ready to come out, invite those knees in a little closer to the chest. Rolling to your right or left side. Pushing back up, I'm going to take a seat against the wall. I'm going to use a block here. You don't have to, but just showing you a nice option here. You're going to be close to the wall, crossing those ankles, and then I'm going to use the block right at the place in my spine where I start usually curving, so right around the middle of the thoracic spine. I'm going to place that block there and against the wall. You got to play around with it a little bit. And then pressing that part of my spine into the block really helped me focus on rolling the shoulders back, keeping the heart nice and open, keeping the lift through the crown of the head. And taking maybe 3 more breaths here, nice and easy. Hands meeting at heart center. I'm so grateful for the community that has formed around Yogalina, for every one of you tuning in, staying connected with us. Wish you a wonderful, beautiful day. Namaste.